Hey, everybody. Welcome to your favorite show where three neckbeards scream at the world. It's Flash Fried. How you doing?
No, today we will, one of those neckbeards will be squealing with joy today, not with rage.
Yeah, because
He'll
of course,
be pleased as punch.
The underwhelming, terrible trailer for Dune has come out today.
Fuck you, TJ.
Are you underwhelmed, TJ?
It looks pretty amazing, honestly. I was hoping it would look like shit kind of on some level, just so Paul would cry, but it looks like, it's gonna be good. So one thing I was kind of scared of with this movie is everything I saw up to a certain point was just like, here's this character standing around in the desert, and here's this character standing around in the desert. And I'm like, does Dune really lend itself to like the sort of like crazy visuals that like a Lord of the Rings or something like that does? Because that's what it keeps getting compared to.
Right.
And I was kind of a little bit worried that maybe being stuck on a fucking barren desert planet, it'd get a little bit repetitive visually after a while. But I think after watching this trailer, it looks like they have plenty in their visual arsenal.
Like, look, if they had fallen into the trap of everything is a sand dune, but even David Lynch didn't fall into that trap. Like a desert desert is just as epic and expansive a fucking environment if done right as a big mountain is or a forest is. You know what I mean? It's like they're
absolutely.
If it lacks visual diversity, then it's just a failure on the part of the filmmaker and the art team involved. The Arakeen landscape is dotted with stark landmarks. Its sky is different than the sky that we experience here on Earth. And so there are tons of examples to make it look huge and expansive and amazing. And it looks like that's been done.
Yeah.
I am a virgin as far as this Dune trailer is concerned. I just was like, you know what? I want to come into this not having seen it, because I know you guys are probably going to go watch it immediately, which I don't fault you for by any stretch of the imagination. But I just felt like, hey, I wanted to have my own genuine reaction when I see it. I'm optimistic. Are you guys ready? Is there anything else you guys want to add before?
Yeah, I do want to say really quickly to anybody watching this, if you want to watch this trailer uninterrupted from start to finish, you should probably go do that before you watch this, because we're gonna interrupt it. So
yeah, if you want to see it unmolested by three fat neckbeards, go ahead and watch it. Come back.
Oh, hey, Dune trailer, get in my van. All right, let's watch it. Paul's so fucking excited for this movie. He's literally like creaming
I'm doing the
his pants over
representation
logos.
on my boner. So guys, if you see this,
Paul's like, oh, the Warner Brothers logo. Oh, legendary pictures.
Paul's already seen it, so we already know.
Oh yeah, legendary pictures. Like,
dude,
Paul's corporate logo creaming and shit, dude.
You don't understand how hard I am for this movie, and this is only in like I thought my boner was as thick and hard and veiny as it had ever been when I watched this trailer 3 times earlier today. Yeah. But now it's getting even harder watching it with you guys. So I'm just telling you, who knows?
Wow, it's like a group activity. You're getting hard, like it's like a circle jerk almost. Like, oh wow, yeah, it's getting a little.
Oh yeah, now I'm watching it with others.
There's theoretically no limit to my hardness, is what I'm telling you.
Wow.
There's something happening to me. There's something awakening in my mind. I can't control it.
What did you see?
This is why Paul likes this movie, dude. Because the main character has the same name. Paul's ego, dude. Paul, come seize your destiny. Paul.
You know that meme where it's like, hey, buddy, you hit your head. It's 2020. There's a pandemic, all this shit. Dude, Paul wants to hit his head and wake up, and it's like, ready to go to Arrakis, Paul?
I'm like, yes, my Duke. No, I mean, I won't lie to you. It is kind of cool to have one of my favorite pieces of fiction have a central character share my first name, and to get to read my own name all throughout one of the best novels ever written. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it sucks or something, but if his name was Gustavo, I'd still be here for it.
I gotcha.
There's a crusade coming.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain. You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself.
So
Paul.
that's our first look at the shield effect.
Yeah.
Which is, there are various kinds of these that are used in the Dune universe. The Atreides are most well known for their mastery of shield maneuvering. That's how their troops kind of stand out from the Sardaukar troops of the Emperor and the Harkonnen troops. Not that those other troops don't have access to shield technology. It's just that the Atreides are known for being really good with shield fighting.
They specialize in that, is what you're saying.
Exactly. They specialize in, the art of shield dueling, which one of the principles of it is the slow blade penetrates the shield, which means that fast strikes are reflected and the slow strikes are accepted. So
it's almost.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's almost like a philosophical thing as well.
exactly, it's very like Japanese almost, and it's martial arts kind of the way it's described in the book. Now I don't know how it'll be presented here, but Gurney Halleck, played by Josh Brolin, there is kind of Paul's mentor, not only in combat but in the art of leading. He's actually been more of kind of like a father figure for Paul than Duke Leto has, because Duke Leto is the Duke. He's got other shit
busy.
going on.
Is busy with his Duke duties.
Something none of your ancestors learned.
My father rules an entire planet.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too.
So that's that's a sentiment that's completely absent from Lynch's Dune. The idea that the Reverend Mother kind of presages the fact that Leto is going to lose his grip on power and that Paul is going to be called to step into those shoes. He doesn't believe her at first, but part of him does, because part of him knows that he shares the gift that she shares. But it's a very hard thing for Paul to come to grips with, because like I said, he's a young man in this, the son of a man who is not just the president of the United. He's not like Baron Trump. Like Leto Atreides is the Duke of an entire planet and rules over several other subsidiary, areas and shit. And like, he's like a huge, massive dude. And to hear like your father is going to lose everything. Like nobody in your bloodline has ever learned to lead. How that will like rankle the son of a duke, you know what I mean? Who obviously looks up to his father and thinks he's invincible.
Yep. Sounds to me like Paul just needs to learn to embrace Paul's great destiny. Let me ask you this, other Paul, Fat Paul. How do you feel like Timothy Chalamet's doing in this role based on this trailer? You said you had some misgivings about that, maybe?
No. Well, I had misgivings about him when I first saw him, because I didn't really know. He visually he looked the part, but I didn't know how he was going to sound delivering it and how he was going to look. If you want to rewind, there's a moment where that melts away for me in this trailer. It's right at the beginning of the box scene. When she asks him
the box scene, I think that's around.
When she asks him, do you often?
Where the fuck is that?
She asks him, do you often dream of things? Yeah, right there. So watch his reaction. Watch his consideration of the question and reaction here.
Okay. Gotcha.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
No hesitation, determination. He's taken aback by the fact that she knows what he's going through, but he doesn't hesitate. Like, that was it for me. Like, when I saw that moment, I was like, okay, kid can act. Kid understands the role. Because that's a very tense scene. Like, he does not think that he is the son of the Duke and the heir to the ducal throne of the Atreides should be answering to some withered old woman in his own home. So he comes at her like, you know, I'm not going to stand here meekly and take your instruction. He fights her. She wins.
Well, yeah, well, of course. It's, you know, teenage angst. It's that kind of air of superiority, you know, like the position he's already been born into, being brought up your whole life, like you're better, you're better, you're better. And then someone just comes in and kind of flips the script on you, and you don't even really know how to react.
So
and
now
and obviously he doesn't.
I heard him in the teaser pronounce the litany of fear, the litany against fear. I've heard him that one word though allayed all my fears because it showed me his chops, his consideration. He hears, he's just a great he's a good actor. He's good for this part.
Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.
Yo, ancestors sucked, bitch.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap.
So pause it there. Back it up a little bit.
Let me just go back a little so we can get that.
So that is our. This is our
Batista there.
This is our first look at Dave Bautista in this movie as the Beast Raban, the commander of the military force that Baron Harkonnen sends to Arrakis to oppose the Duke's takeover. In fact, the Harkonnens are the people that he is supposed to be taking over from. And so the Beast Raban, huge part in Dune, plays a huge role in the first book. And our first look at him is so cool. They didn't fuck him all up. He looks like Dave Bautista, but he is just, I don't know. They made him pale like the Harkonnens all are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He looks like scary, but also like his color makes him look kind of sickly, but in a terrifying way.
He's like sickly and menacing, but like in like kind of that almost like mutant way where it's like, don't mistake it for like it's like a pallor. It's like there is a deep strength abiding there. You can just tell, like even just the shot, like I definitely like the character design they went with.
Yeah, that's what the Harkonnens are known for. So David Lynch kind of layered this disease thing, but the Harkonnens are kind of known for their beauty. They're fair. Right. Like I'm not saying that fair skin is ultimate beauty. I'm not doing the hey,
wow, racist much, Paul?
Damn,
racist
Paul.
much?
I'm just saying they're
beautiful. They're fair skinned. Skin so white, so pure. White.
Well, this is beyond fair though. You get what I'm saying? Like this is
pale. This is pale. Yeah,
that's what they're renowned for. They're
well. Think about it too. They live on Arrakis and they're pale. What other sign of nobility and wealth can you have on a desert world?
Well, they live on Gidi Prime.
Oh, well, okay. Well, fair enough. Then that's my mistake. But yeah, but still.
So right there too, right after we get Dave Bautista, it's almost like they fucking hammer us with one of two brief looks that we get at the Baron. It looks like the Baron is going to be delivering. He's not going to be as ostentatious as the Baron Harkonnen is in the Lynch.
Go back to that little very brief moment, TJ, with the Baron.
He seems to be soaking, maybe steaming in a fucking sauna, and he just says, "Killed him."
Kill him.
Is he almost
Get
like
him.
Is that the suit he's wearing, or is his neck almost kind of weird?
Who knows?
I would imagine that is part of his suit. He's intentionally obscured here because I think that they've got something pretty special in mind for the Baron Harkonnen.
Kind of crazy fucking visual thing for him.
This is kind of how they treated the Joker in the Dark Knight early trailers. Yeah. Where they would just give you brief glimpses of him, you know what I mean? But they didn't want to give you his whole aesthetic.
This feels like a lot more Machiavellian as opposed to like the other Baron Harkonnen was kind of like, ah, I'm the Baron.
I am a goofy fat
It's more
bastard.
like you meet the Baron one-on-one, and he has all the power. Then it's like, and it's kind of like, kill them. You know, it's not like.
Well, that's exactly how he is in the book, Scotty. I mean, he is not this power-hungry, crazy person covered in venereal disease that drinks the blood of his slaves openly and wantonly and revels in all the... Now, he likes that shit. He is an opulent man.
But no one knows what he's thinking.
He's a regally opulent man, though. He is not like a disgusting, like hedonistic... He presents himself at court as very important, and when he talks to people, he talks with an air of great importance. Here, when he's saying kill them, he's talking that the reason they're showing this after they just revealed Raban is because this is when he tells Raban, go to Arrakis, take our old holdings, kill them all.
Kill them. This is an extermination. They're picking my family off from.
I like this weird cover of the Pink Floyd song they got playing in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my fucking god, dude! Like they've taken and epicized a fucking Pink Floyd song for the trailer.
Could it be kind of like perfect? An homage? Isn't it kind of an homage to Jodorowsky's Dune?
Could be.
Maybe it could be because Pink Floyd was going to do. So in
the soundtrack, right?
In Jodorowsky's Dune, each house, the Emperor's house, Carino, the Atreides, and the Harkonnen were each going to have their own soundtrack that was going to be written by a different band, and the Atreides band was Pink Floyd.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Which is pretty dope. So it's kind of cool that they're playing that. I wonder if that's like a conscious thing.
I would imagine if it is, it means that Denis Villeneuve, which you have to imagine, is aware of Jodorowsky.
I'm sure he's aware of it.
Maybe even consulted or met with him on this fucking project. Like, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Some of those ideas that are present that are so fucking awesome in Jodorowsky's ill-fated, never-made Dune film might be in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, that the song that they're playing is called Eclipse. It's like the last song on the Dark Side of the Moon. It's Dark Side of the Moon. Last song on Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the big closing number where they fucking it's kind of like connected to another song. There's like one before it. It's like, I think it's called Lunatic or something like that, and they kind of like, they're almost like one song because one kind of continues in the other. But the lyrics they're singing now are from the song Eclipse.
Yeah,
from Dark Side of the Moon, which is
so we're
cool
getting
and this is an even more dramatized version. The one on the Pink Floyd album is already pretty dramatic, but this is like they've definitely trailerized it.
We're getting a pretty cool look at the still suits now in action too. The still suits, for those people that aren't into Dune, are what people on Arrakis wear in order to preserve every drop of water that their body produces, because water is so absolutely foreign to Arrakis, has to be imported. Your own water has to be used to the utmost. That means that when you shit, every ounce of moisture needs to be filtered out of that shit. And when you piss, every toxin needs to be removed from that piss, saving as much water as possible. And that's what a still suit does. It collects your body fluids. And
David, your sweat. I mean, everything. Like they water is a very, very precious resource on Arrakis. So.
Obviously sweat, obviously piss, obviously any other bodily fluid that you leak, tears, all of those things are precious on Arrakis because every dram of water is,
I mean,
like a diamond. It's like 10,000 diamonds. You know what I mean? It's just something
so far, I'll tell you this too. I mean, just look at this shot here. I like the still suits. I like the costuming they've done. I like the lighting accents. Like I like when like looking at Caladan. It's so rich and vibrant. Then we get to Arrakis, and it's desolate, and the architecture even represents that. It's just like this very monolithic. It's a monolithic and imposing because.
It's brutalist architecture. So I actually dorked out and looked this up. And Arrakis is done in brutalist architecture, which is kind of like Eastern Bloc / Russian style of functionality and squareness. And so, but there's a lot of embellishment that goes on Arrakis that's almost like Middle Eastern or Bedouin kind of influenced.
Cool.
By one.
Let's fight like demons.
An animal caught in a trap.
So what do you think of Jason Momoa there?
So you see, if you look at that last kill that he makes, you see the slow blade penetrates the shield principle at work. He attacks and then allows the blade to sink through and allows the guy's weight to penetrate the shield and actually do the damage that kills the guy. Jason Momoa is, if this movie is huge and makes $1 billion, Jason Momoa has the best role in this film because his character, Duncan Idaho, spoiler alert if you don't want to hear spoilers about Dune, I guess, from here on out. But Duncan Idaho dies in Dune.
But
he is brought back by this weird group of people called the Talaxu or Tlalax. I've always had a trouble saying their name. Tlalaxu. The Tlalaxu. And they use a piece of his body that's left on Arrakis to recreate him. And he's actually deathless in the Dune books. He's the one character that is unique throughout all of Frank Herbert's Dune. Paul is long dead. Fucking Duncan Idaho's still there. So if this series gets huge, Jason Momoa has the best role in the series.
Oh, he's got the juiciest role for sure.
In a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
I know you.
One day.
So pause it.
Will be born.
So that's our other look at the Baron that we saw there. You may have missed it. It was very brief.
Yeah.
Coming out of the tub there.
Rising up out of the tub. It looks like taking some kind of rejuvenating mud bath or something.
Yeah,
and you can see that he is indeed in quite a fat suit, which is great.
So, we got some ships here. It's like almost like a dragonfly looking ship.
So yeah, that's an ornithopter. If you go back real quick, these are huge in Dune.
I'll just get back to it. Yeah,
and they are described in the book as flying as an insect flies, and so this is an awesome design for an Arrakeen ornithopter.
It's very, like TJ said, it's like a dragonfly, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a dragonfly.
Yes. So it's a dragonfly. I mean, and that's what they're described as. They are described as looking and flying as insects fly. So
and obviously we're teasing when the Harkonnens come back to Arrakis, and obviously with the obviously we don't spoil too much, but
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck you. If you don't want to hear spoilers about Dune, like, don't be listening to us talk about the Dune trailer. Like, I'm sorry. So, yes, this is
when the combined forces of the Sardaukar and the Harkonnens retake Arrakis.
Yeah, so what happens, of course, is, like, the Atreides hold power on Arrakis only very briefly, and the Harkonnens launch a kind of attack from within that culminates in a big invasion. And we're seeing that here. This is Gurney Halleck, the battle master that, trained Paul, attempting to make heads or tails of what the fuck is happening as the shield wall that was supposed to protect them from any kind of attack has clearly been brought down, and these troops have been given access to the inner sanctum. He knows at this moment that the Atreides no longer rule on Arrakis, and that likely, in his mind, because at this point he doesn't know whether Paul and Jessica are alive or dead, that the House Atreides may be ended utterly.
Oh yeah.
which is, by the way, the goal of the Baron Harkonnen. Harkonnen is so rankled by the fact that political jockeying has allowed the Duke to take Arrakis from him that he doesn't want to just take it back. He wants to end the line of House Atreides and take that too. He wants to take Caladan and Arrakis and make it part of his. So here you can see pretty extensive fat suit on Stellan. So that question about was it his garb or his neck, it might actually be just a big roll of fat on the back of his neck.
It looks like there's. I feel like looking at that scene of him in the steam room or sauna or wherever the fuck he was earlier. It kind of seemed like there was some kind of like.
It looks like there's some around his
component
neck.
Built into like the back of his head or something.
It does look like that. Like if you see right here on the right side, like there's like it was almost like a thing on his neck. So I don't know what that is. If that's just water or if that's the lighting. But it does look like there could be some.
It might be a breathing apparatus. It might be his shield unit. It might be something that allows him to hover. It might be. True. I mean, we don't know. But we get this very brief look. Now you can tell. Look at the curvature of his shoulder. He's fuscular. He looks like E Honda fat.
That's true.
Because look at those traps, dude. Look at those traps.
Yeah, dude, he's in trap day, dude. He's doing this.
So, dude is going to be like fat and buff, which is going to be awesome.
Fuff.
The legend will be born. All of civilization depends on it.
Those things are cool.
The future.
There's another pretty good shot of
Raban.
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
They almost look like it's kind of crazy. They've almost given them this kind of this elfish kind of just
vampire.
Evil like it's vampiric, this like very pale look of like, and it's actually uniform, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that they're like, I guess anyone with their helmet removed has this kind of shaved head thing going on.
These are probably the Harkonnen shock troops, and they would all be, as the Beast Raban here is, born and raised on Giedi Prime, which is basically like, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Imagine, what's that fucking planet from the prequels that they introduced that's all city?
Coruscant?
Imagine Coruscant, but it's all industry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So a total hellscape where the sun doesn't shine because so much pollution is in the air, but everybody lives in hermetically sealed environments. That's why they're pale. So the Baron is going to look like this. Fade is going to look like this. So, yeah, I really like the aesthetic. It really, like it almost makes them look like vampires to me. Which is like one of the reasons that David Lynch put the heart plug shit in. If you guys have seen Lynch's Dune, they're like the Harkonnens will have their slaves have this heart plug that they can pull and drink their blood anytime they want, is because they're presented that way, like vampire aristocrats almost. And so the Beast Raban was portrayed kind of goofily in David Lynch's Dune. He is not a goofy character in this, and I'm so happy to see that.
The future. I can see it. Lips. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
My Lord Duke.
Where the fear is gone, only I will remain.
You like his read on that, Paul?
Yes.
Is that your dick hard, Paul?
Oh, dude, it was a great.
My dick was like I said, my dick was already hard.
Well, that's the end of the trailer because that's the end.
Oh, that's it.
No,
that's it. Because there's no sandworms in Dune, as we all know from Paul's rantings and ravings.
Yeah,
over
for
the
my
last few
scuttlebutt.
weeks.
Well, Scotty, I'm happy to tell you that the scuttlebutt was wrong, my friend. And here you go.
All right.
Go, go, go!
Oh shit, dude. Damn.
Now that's fucking cool right there. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you don't give a fuck about Dune or this movie and you're pissed that we spent 30 minutes talking about it.
That
is fucking cool.
awesome.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
That's fucking awesome right there.
I was listening to that Fat Boy Slim song, you know, the one where they had the music video where Christopher Walken dances and shit. And it's like walk without rhythm.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to attract that thing.
Yeah, I don't want to attract the sandworm.
Let's do the little title screen here.
Dunk.
So
Hold on, let me go back to the sandworm. Hell yeah.
So a performance
Now that is
that's
so interesting. Oh, go ahead.
And I don't remember the name of the lady that was tapped to play Jessica, Paul's mother, because it's a huge role. She's kind of buried in this trailer. And I think maybe it's because she's so fucking good. They don't want to give too much, because her journey from Bene Gesserit witch to kind of coven leader of the new cult out in the desert that all follow Paul Atreides is one of the more interesting ones in the book. And she's in it, but she doesn't get any lines. We don't hear her really say much, if anything at all. We get some brief looks at her. So I'm interested by that. You know,
well,
what
this
I mean?
movie is obviously keeping some stuff close to its chest. So,
and still keeping Fade Ralph.
Yeah, we still don't know. We still don't know what
I
the
think
fuck's
Fade's
going
not going to be. I don't think Fade's going to be revealed until we actually see the movie, and maybe not even then. According to
maybe, I mean, there's definitely going to be at least one more trailer for this before it comes out.
I mean, I will tell you that Fade does not become, well, in the Dune books, he's plot consequential early on and is a close confidant of the Barons. So
yeah, then he should be. I don't know. Maybe it could be just they're waiting to reveal that in the movie. But I think a lot of the details are going to be revealed only when you see it.
He's actually nephew of the Baron. He's like the Baron's nephew, so he's like next in line for the Baron.
I love the sandworm design. It almost just feels like you're about to hit warp, or like you're talking like a black hole. Cause like all the, I don't know if those are hairs or teeth or whatever that's supposed to be.
Their teeth. Their teeth. So there's.
Well, I love the insinuation of the size of the fucking thing, because like they certainly shoot it in a way that makes it look fucking gigantic.
But everything leads back into that black hole, because that's kind of like that's the inside of that sandworm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are
consume.
Those are teeth. And this, by the way, so in this scene, Paul and Jessica have just escaped in an ornithopter, one of the dragonflies, from the Harkonnen attack that destroys his entire house and kills almost everybody that they know. They land in the deep desert. The way he gets away is he goes into a part of the desert that the Harkonnens don't normally go in, because if you crash, it's death, because the big worms live out there in the deep desert. Like, they've built Arrakeen, which is the name of the town that the Atreides take over on Arrakis. They've built Arrakeen in a part of the desert where the sand is shallow, and so only smaller worms come anywhere near it. He's out in the deep desert, so this is our first look at not only a sandworm, but a big motherfucker, like a genuine full-grown adult sandworm. So those things that you're seeing that look like what Scotty was saying, like going into warp or whatever, those are teeth. Earlier in the thing, do you remember the thing where Paul saluted with a knife?
Yes.
So that's a Chris knife. A Chris knife is a single-use weapon that will kill anybody that's stabbed with it, but it can only be used one time because it breaks in them. And it's made of a sandworm tooth. A small sandworm tooth. It is a weapon of the Fremen of Arrakis that is given to Paul by the Shadout Mapes and blah, 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 his first contact with the Fremen. So, but you can see these teeth are bigger than 2 or 3 men, because this is Shai Hulud. This is the god of the desert here. one of the big ones. So
yeah, I mean, I really like the scene.
Bitch.
It feels very strong, like the worm is just sizing them up, so super interesting.
Not only that, but not to spoil it once again, if you're here after I've given you 90 spoiler alerts to leave,
that's your fault.
Then that's all on you. But Paul has a special connection, and especially Paul's family has a special connection to Shai Hulud. And so that shot that we get there, while it's cool that it's our first big face reveal of the sandworm, is packed with portent, because Scotty's exactly right. It's considering them, because
clearly
a big subtext, a big part of the plot of Dune is prophesying the future, developing the ability to see and know the future. You see it teased in this trailer a bunch of times. Do you often dream of things as they happen? Yes. That's part of the gift that Paul has, that up until now has been reserved for females. The female bloodlines have been trained in certain ways in the Bene Gesserit sisterhood to be psychic, to have a limited look into the future, to have a limited look into people's minds. Paul is a man who is trained in those ways by his mother against the wishes of the sisterhood. And that makes him very special, because men have different powers in that realm, that kind of witchcraft realm, than women do. And so Paul, his vision of the future is it's prescience. Like, he can see not only the future, but all futures at a certain point. So that's what, and that's all connected to the worm
and to the spice,
and to the
that's
spice.
something that hasn't been mentioned yet. And of course, Arrakis is the only known place in the universe where the spice comes from. Paul, maybe you know this. Is the spice made by the worm?
Yes, it is. The spice, the spice is made by the worms, and it's also used by the worms and protected by them. So the patches of it are where, like the densest patches of the spice are where you're going to find the largest worms defending it.
So obviously they have intelligence, and obviously there's a lot more to them than just simply there's a giant worm.
They're not just an animal. They're described by the Fremen as gods. They call them Shai Hulud, god of the desert. So they're gods. They're not stupid animals at all. They have will. They're there to protect the spice and create the spice. And
well, because I just want that to be clear to people watching, because I kind of know, it's been a while since I've read Dune. I'm obviously going to reread it before it comes out. But yeah, since you know all that, I was kind of just trying to treat you as a resource. And maybe people are wondering, they're not just these animals. There's a lot more to them than just simply, it's a giant worm. Because, and especially in Lynch's Dune, they're kind of more treated that way.
Yes.
The ultimate
I actually might be wrong. I actually might be wrong about the spice being made by the worms, but it is defended by them. They're aware of it. There might be
I think that is correct from what I remember of Dune.
I said it, and now I'm questioning myself, because I redid all the books via audiobook 6 months ago, and I'm questioning myself as to whether that's true. But
I feel like that's true.
I think it is true, but I don't know.
I don't remember, because it's
I just wanted to cushion myself against the actually guys.
Actually.
But I do know that the sandworms are aware of the spice and defend it. And when one is around, they reek of it. So
it's a very powerful substance. So as we know, totally looking forward to this movie. I think it's one of the best trailers I've seen in a long ass time. And the hype level, if me, keeps rising. I hope that at this point, if the movie sucks, it'll be one of the biggest letdowns as far as a film I can think of.
My hype level has been here, and this just solidified it for me. If this trailer had been or if Timothée Chalamet had been weird, or the shot had, but I didn't really expect that. My hype level has been here. It remains exact. I'm over the top excited for this, dude. I'm telling you, Scotty, this movie, you remember before the show, before TJ got in here, I was telling you that this property is in the hands of a visionary.
It is.
It's
It
in the
clearly
hands
is.
of a visionary director that has a love for the fucking source material. You can tell from this trailer. It's beautiful.
Unquestionably.
Well, I mean, this is a movie that it's been stated that that it's unfilmable.
Bullshit.
And everything that's happened with it thus far kind of makes, contributes to that seeming true.
You want to know why it's unfilmable? Because this is a movie about the toppling of power structures over and over again. I mean, the whole Dune book, the whole book universe, as Herbert described it, is about the toppling of human paradigm over and over and over again, and trying fruitlessly to break that wheel, but finding out that it's just a natural part of the way that humanity and other animals refresh themselves. Like, humanity eventually gets tired of opulence and perfection and turns on it and destroys everything because they desire that chaos. Like, that's the ultimate fucking, one of the ultimate realizations of Dune, if you go through the whole series that Herbert wrote through Chapter House, is that humanity can't be given utopia. You can't give a person everything in opulence. You can't have a god that literally knows everything, can see the future perfectly, and give you exactly what you need before you even know you need it, and be happy. Humanity will find a reason to be dissatisfied with that and will tear itself to shreds.
Well,
I love it.
the Son Eclipse, the last 4 lines of it is, there is no dark side of the moon, really. Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Matter of fact, it's all dark.
So, I could go on and on. In our Dune episode, we talked about one of the philosophical struggles that Paul Atreides has, which is his prescience allows him to see what's going to be done in his name. Because he becomes powerful because obviously he seizes power on Arrakis, and he who controls Arrakis controls the spice. The spice is needed for interstellar travel. If there's no spice, the Spacing Guild can't travel to these distant worlds, and so humanity goes back to this disparate species without Paul Atreides. So his ascent is huge, and he becomes a huge figure, but his prescience allows him to see the jihad that scours the galaxy of non-believers in his name. And that's part of his character in the first 2 books, is attaining that power and then wrestling with the implication of it. Well,
especially knowing what's going to happen in your name. Even after you're gone, it's like, well, yeah, because obviously I can balance the scales while I'm here, but I'm, like you said, that paradigm is not infinite, and then it comes down to interpretation.
Well,
as I see with many religions and many other groups, the minute the founder of that religion is dead, their beliefs and what they thought are widely interpreted in different ways.
And he thought for a while that he could beat it. He thought that it was just a possible future, and that if he did things correctly, that he could beat it. And then eventually found out that that was naive, because he explored every possible future, and he explored the past. He looks at it in one of the books through the eyes of the Duke. He goes back and he looks through the eyes of his father and says, this is why my father failed. But had he tried this, he also would have failed. Had he stayed on Caladan, the troops still would have come. The Sardaukar would have came to the beautiful shores of Caladan, and blah, 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 blah. It's like he sees the failure of it, and he realizes the inevitability of it. It's like the thread of fate almost cannot be broken. People are going to do what they're going to do. And once he realizes that, he's at peace with dying, because he knows that after the jihad will come order. And after the order, he starts to see the truth of it. And then his son has to learn it. His son is thrown into it in Children of Dune as the main character. And just a fucking awesome series of books. It's going to be amazing to see. Because if this is a huge hit, which I hope it is, I hope that what happened to Blade Runner doesn't happen to this. I hope people don't just miss it because they don't care, because it's some dorky sci-fi shit.
I think the cast they've assembled I think the special effects that I've seen, I just can't imagine, even if you're not like, if all this is, you hear this and you're just like, who gives a shit? This looks like a really well-made film. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to make proclamations. But if you just want something to go enjoy and you don't care about the deeper shit movies, you just want something that's going to entertain you, I think this is going to deliver.
I mean, it's still got giant worms and fucking crazy space battles and shit. So
Yeah,
even if
like,
you don't
it's
give a
still got
fuck
all
about
that.
any of like, even if you don't give a fucking
The nerd
half
shit
of
is
a
there.
shit about the philosophy or any of that stuff, you can still be like, whoa, giant worm is crazy. So, you know.
Will it live up to the hype of Star Wars for adults? I mean, Star Wars has disappointed us. I mean, last year, we all remember last December we saw The Rise of Skywalker or Fall, whatever the fuck it was called.
Hopefully this one will live long enough to see itself become the villain as they
the
start
only
to adapt
regret I
his
have-
like son's books and stuff, you know.
The only regret I have with this one is that because of this pandemic, you know, I probably won't be able to see it in theaters because I'm not going to go to a movie theater while it's going on. I mean, hopefully, you know, maybe that's changed by then, but I doubt it.
December 18th is the announced date. We may get a pushback on that. I wouldn't be sad if we do. It probably just means that there's more time being spent in the editing room, cleaning and polishing things up. So I'm willing to wait, but as of now,
I'm pretty confident of that release date with this trailer and everything coming out. I would not be shocked. I think they want to move ahead with this. I mean, I think a lot of studios have seen just like look what happened to James Bond. A lot of these other ones that happened right during the time period. It's like it's kind of hurt them. So I think that they want to. If they're doing this marketing push already, I would be very confident that December 18th release date.
I agree.
All right,
18th.
now it's
It
time
is
to
like,
fucking
who
enough of
gives
this
a
bullshit. Enough of this goddamn bullshit. Let's talk about some news.
I'm sorry, dude. It's just
Hey,
it's
Paul,
such
your
an amazing
hometown-
trailer.
Your hometown's burning down.
Yeah,
Well, he's got Dune. He's fine.
I know.
All
So,
of your
yeah,
childhood
yeah.
shit's
Thank-
burning, Paul. What you think?
Thank you for fucking taking me from my highest high to my lowest low, TJ.
Remember all those memories you have of camping and stuff when you were a kid in those woods? Now they're gone. They're cinders, Paul.
Vacation.
So I
They're
told
cinders.
I want to let everybody in the chat know that I told TJ this before we started the show, that all the places that I remember camping in as a kid were on fire, and he's now using it against me on the show for a joke.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you believe anything else besides that was going to happen?
So let me answer some questions that I've gotten from people on Twitter and shit. My family's fine. My family lives on the valley floor, which is not in danger of burning.
There's nothing to burn.
Right. The valley floor has not got a lot of trees and shit. So, I mean, there's grass fires and shit that happen there. So maybe it'll spread to some grass fires, but those are easier to fight than forest fires are. My family's fine. What isn't fine is pretty much everywhere that I went when I was a child. So I was doing a ideology the other night for our patrons, and one of our patrons happens to be from Madera, where I grew up. He calls himself Paul's dad. It's a little creepy, but I let him, hang out because he pays us every month.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was that night, this creek fire that this article is talking about was spreading. And of course, I'm aware of this because I'm from there. I've got family all over that place. So I'm monitoring it too. And I'm trying to do a stream to get my mind off of it. I've made sure that my mom's safe and everybody's safe that I know of. I'm trying to get my mind off of it. And this Paul's dad guy in the chat, as I'm talking about video games and shit, just apropos of nothing, will be like, "Hey, Paul, North Fork is burning." And I'm like,
Are you sure this isn't your real dad?
I know. I'm starting to be creeped out. I'm starting to be creeped out because it might be.
Because this is kind of like, I've heard stories about your dad, and I'm hearing what this guy's saying. I'm like, this kind of does sound like your dad, Paul.
It is. It does. So North Fork is a little town that I used to go to the dentist for because we had this old guy for a dentist who retired and kept a few clients and retired to the foothills to a beautiful, by the way, North Fork, picturesque little mountain town right at the base, right at the top of the foothills going up into the Sierras. Just a beautiful, picturesque little place that I'm pretty sure doesn't exist anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure everything burned there, and not just the buildings, of course, but all the forest around it. So That's gone.
Well, this
right
fire
now,
is not even the largest fire, but you can see here is 163,000 acres burning.
If
0% contained, been active for 4 days now.
if you if you back up a little bit on this page for me, TJ, like or go to incidents, click on incidents up there again.
Yeah.
And then just click on the creek fire.
This one here.
Just click on it over on the right. Yeah. And then click on the actual fire, because there was a way that I had it and I can't figure out how to do it. But it showed
clicking on the fire
border.
don't seem to do nothing.
It showed the border of the fire earlier. I was able to do it, and now and I don't see how that isn't there. But anyway, I'm telling you,
that.
Zoom in.
I'll look
zoom
it up in
a little
another
bit.
window.
Click the plus over on the left.
Yeah. Here we go.
Maybe if you zoom in close. Okay, so anyway, it's not going to show you. But so Huntington Lake, which is to the north of this, is on fire right now.
Yeah.
You can drag around. Can you drag it around or no?
Yeah.
Okay. There's Shaver Lake.
Shaver Lake down there.
So Shaver Lake is a lake that I did a lot of families go there to camp and fish and boat. That's gone. That whole lake, everything around it is engulfed. It's gone. Well, the lake is there, but it's going to be filled with ashes and dead trees for 100 years. It's gone.
Right. It's not. It's a nasty. This is like a little town here. This is gone.
Yes. That's Shaver Lake is the little tourist town that, has little cabins you can rent and blah, blah, blah. That's gone. Say goodbye to it. It's gone.
Bye.
Zoom out a little bit, TJ. Couple steps. Go to the north a little bit and west. So you see South Fork?
Northwest.
Right there, South Fork.
South Fork.
Yep.
Oh, here. Yeah. Okay.
Zoom in around that area.
Okay.
So South Fork is marked on the map. There's North Fork.
South and North Fork right there.
This is that tiny little picturesque town that I was telling you about that has a bunch of retirees and little chalets and cute little fucking expensive boutiques and beautiful woodchuck sounds in the air when you get out and like tweeting birds. This is gone.
Oh man, dude, I'm looking at some of the images of the fire, dude. It is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, maybe send.
Did you pull a story about this at all, TJ?
I mean, I pulled the story. This was the story that's pulled. California camper recorded his family.
They had to be airlift people, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is. They were talking about being airlifted and stuff. I don't know if the video's in here. They said they filmed it. I don't know why the fuck airlifted.
That's nuts, dude.
So, I mean, it's just fucking crazy to me.
I mean, here's a picture of the fire here.
I mean, I don't know which fire that's from. There are a number of gigantic wildfires in California, so this might not be one. This might be one of the coastal.
I think they said it was from the Creek Fire, but the Creek Fire is the third biggest fire in California right now, I think.
Yes.
I mean, there's some other ones that are super huge. The bigger ones are the SCU Lightning Complex is like a huge fire, and the LNU Lightning Complex, another huge fire. But this Creek Fire...
The big so the kind of fucked position that the central part of the state where I'm from is in is that to the east they've got the third or fifth or whatever biggest fire in the state burning, and then to the west and north they've got the fire that's burning through the coastal range and threatening Oakland, which is where the Raiders are fucking from. You know what I mean? We're talking about like,
and they're in Vegas now though, so they're okay.
Dude, all of the air, all
they
of
ran
these,
off.
all of the hoity-toity areas that surround San Francisco and the Bay Area, as it's known in California, are all up in the mountains. Well, not all of them, but most of them are up in like the coastal range mountains. And it's
got another fire map from the San Francisco Chronicle that might be able to give us some more
look at this,
information.
dude. This is nuts.
Can you zoom on this one?
I just looked at the U.S. drought monitor, dude.
I don't know if I can. Yeah,
you
it looks
can.
like I can.
And of course, much of California is in drought. Actually, with the exception of the LA area, that's not actually in a drought. Madera is in a moderate drought right now.
Yeah.
Northern California is in a severe drought.
This is the creek fire, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is. Holy shit, dude. Wow.
So this is like the frontier of the fire. This is 0% contained fire. Like the two bigger fires are like 90-something% contained apiece. This one is not even. They haven't even begun to contain this.
So, you guys see Oakhurst there?
Yeah, Oakhurst. Yeah.
So that's like a stopover on the way to a big tourist destination in California named Mammoth Lakes, which is also, by the way, gone. This fire has burned already 160 something thousand acres.
Yeah, 163,138.
Mammoth is gone, and I think it's part of another fire. If you go just to the north of this, zoom out a little bit and go to the north.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Mammoth Lakes there. Mammoth Lakes is gone in another fire. You can see how close another wildfire is to the north of the Yosemite Valley, which is where Half Dome and all the beautiful waterfalls and shit are.
This fire. Can we get a name on that one? Yeah. It won't tell me the name. They might not even bother naming.
So I'm telling you, dude, like, you know, now go over to the Bay Area. Go like zoom out and go northwest of where you're at here to see the kind of Bay Area fire that's going.
You talk about this one up here?
Yeah. So like the Ukiah, Yuba City, Chico, like all that shit.
Oh my God, Paul! So I looked at Madeira. I'm looking at its weather. I'm like, any rain in the forecast? The next time rain is forecast for Madeira, as far out as I could find, is Halloween.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Sometimes we will get some like, I don't know, off, but yeah, that's pretty typical.
Yeah,
like
so
late October into November is the wet season, if there is one.
But if we go all the way back, I mean, you can see there's fires all along the coast. I mean, it's just the whole fucking state is basically lit up. Look at Oregon is the same. I mean, Oregon is fucking. This is just a California, shit. But like I got pictures from Oregon for you could fucking look at some of the shit that's going on there. Where did that fucking go? Here we go. This is like Oregon's like Oregon looks like a fucking nightmare. Like it's just like it looks like it's basically just descended into hell.
It looks like the Doom invasion has begun in Oregon.
Yeah, like
demons are breaching Oregon through portals.
They should get Arnold out there to fucking be like, get your ass to Mars, because it looks like fucking Mars. Everything's red. Everything's just bathed in this fucking red light.
So, to a lesser extent, I've seen this effect. This happens at dusk and dawn when there's a big fire that is dumping a lot of smoke in the high atmosphere that's kind of raining down onto a town. This happened. I've lived through lesser versions of this. I've never lived in California when it was on fire to this extent, but I've lived through giant wildfire that, you know, you feel you're safe from. You're not going to burn because it's 800 miles away or some shit, but you know all the smoke from it is just going to settle into your fucking town. And I haven't seen it turn this. I've never seen anything close to this, but I've seen this effect where the sky is like way more, like it's like the normal morning light that you would get is diffused throughout the entire sky because you've got this layer of fucking ash in the air.
What does this article say, TJ?
I don't know, but I want to show you guys the actual video of this shit.
Okay.
Because it won't load on this stupid fucking page, so I just pulled it up on YouTube. So here you can see, turn this stupid fucking music off. None of this is filtered. This has not been like run through like a Photoshop thing to make it look like it's this red. You know? It's fucking crazy. Like, that's got to feel like you're literally living in the end times when you're fucking looking out and seeing that.
Yeah. I've got some family in Oregon, and so I'll have to call and make sure. I mean, I assume I would have heard if they're not okay. I know that they're not up in the mountains, so they're probably fine.
Absolutely. You read the earthquake in New Jersey yesterday, too? That's some crazy shit. It wasn't really like
2020, really, dude.
Yeah, 2020 is a fucked up year. Yeah, there was like
earthquake in New Jersey.
in fucking New Jersey where they don't even like. They were like, "What the fuck? We get earthquakes?" Yeah, it was like a 3.2. Wasn't like a crazy one, but like you don't expect an earthquake there.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, TJ.
Yeah, well, no one expects 2020 until it fucking happens either. It looks like they're just cycling through the same pictures now.
No, it's a hellscape, dude. It's a fucking hellscape.
Let me fucking see if I can pull a thing of that fucking family escape in the creek fire. So we can see the creek fire.
They had to be airlifted out. They had to airlift a family out because, and like, look, this is scary as shit for me on a personal level because all my family camps. Obviously, I grew up in an area that access to shit like this is an hour or less away. You know what I mean? Beautiful, pristine creeks, waterfalls, big pine forests, big redwood forests. By the way, another thing that's burned in California that a lot of people won't even really get the chance to lament the loss of is the Redwood National Forest.
Yeah, of course.
Huge swath of old redwood trees are gone. Now, most of them have survived, the big ones at least.
Let's get to the dramatic shit here. This is the creek fire burning here. People being evacuated by fucking air.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at all this shit. 200 people rescued. 400. This was like acres ago. It's burned way more than that now.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
This is from 3 days ago.
I'm not even gonna say it. That's fucking crazy. I just saw something that I don't think I should mention it because
what is it?
What?
I know these people. Like I don't know them. I don't know them super fucking well, but I know their family. Like I know of them.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
I gotcha.
Well,
that's
yeah,
wild.
that's probably. Yeah.
Paul saying people he knows up in the news. Crazy shit. They're trying to put it out. They haven't contained shit though.
So
this has only gotten way worse since this story came out.
This creek fire is a huge problem because what has happened is a lot of people that make a lot of money in the Central Valley, farmers, businessmen,
This is the El Dorado fire now.
Big business owners, et cetera, have fled the heat and the bad air conditions of the valley floor by moving into expensive parcels of land in tiny little communities and or just completely remote land where they've had houses built. So the rich, more affluent people and a lot of not vacationers, but people that are like buying up land, building chalets on them so that people can rent them. I don't know what you'd call that type of person. Taking advantage of
rich
the tourism.
Asshole.
Well, yeah. But I'm telling you, like, not everybody that's up here is a rich asshole. People rent these fucking chalets,
right.
You know what I mean, for reasonable prices. So it's like, but this is fucking crazy. So this is the creek.
This is creek fire. This is someone escaping.
So, you want to know what the fucking crazy shit about it is a lot of
Here's
the
some
shit.
more raw footage.
This is fucking nuts to me. A lot of the shit you guys are looking at, I might have driven these roads. I've definitely camped in these forests. So it is fucking insane to me to see this part of the world burning like this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, watching Australia go through this a number of months ago.
There was a sense of detachment that's just like gone from me personally now. I knew some people in Australia, so I knew there was like serious shit, but like, But I know this environment. I know these like little fucking scrub plants and shit. I know the lay of this land. Do you get me? Like I grew up in it, and to see
it's kind of like after I was like going through the devastation after Katrina and seeing like places I used to eat and stuff just become rubble. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's a humbling moment because it's one of the moments you have to realize like how we're living in this environment. We can pretend that we have some element of control, but these fires, sometimes they're caused by people and sometimes they're just natural. Like, there's a bunch of electrical activity. Oh, there's a fucking huge fire, and all you can do is run away. There's not much else you can do. Just like a hurricane. I mean, people live on the Gulf Coast know hurricanes are a fact of life.
People fucking retire out here, Scotty. Like that's one of the scary things about this is like what the area you're looking at that's burning, all that shit that I was talking about, people dotting, like a lot of people save up their money so they can buy a little parcel of land and park a trailer on this type of shit.
But Paul, you also know that if that as humans, if you don't fucking give nature its respect and understand what it can do to you, especially in this part of the country, that's a gamble. That's a
Well,
gamble.
the crazy thing about nature
it's like
is
buying a retirement house in Florida.
even
You
if
know what I
you-
mean? And saying,
yeah,
hey, there's
even
not
if
going to be
you,
hurricanes.
even if you do respect nature, you know, it's still not necessarily going to respect you back. It's a force, you know.
Well, it doesn't work that way. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I have no empathy for those people, but it's kind of like if you get a house in Florida, you know, Florida gets a ton of hurricanes. You might have to fucking evacuate. Your house might go underwater in the next fucking 20 years. You know,
I mean, no matter where you're going to live in this country or on this planet, like there's no safe place on Earth. And this is kind of like just another reminder of
with
that.
natural disasters, you can look at indexes of where they occur more often. California is in the red, unfortunately.
But is there any is there any
red.
100% safe place on this fucking planet though? Is there anywhere you're
Places
safe
like
from every
Ohio? A lot of places like that have very like Ohio.
What about
is
an
like
asteroid? Asteroid hits.
Yellowstone,
Well,
Yellowstone caldera.
Yellowstone caldera. That could fucking shit
Well,
up.
Ohio, you probably survive. Well, you survive at least one of those things. Yellowstone caldera is far enough away.
Yeah.
If you're close to it, though, I mean,
the whole
that
planet.
difference
When
is-
that shit goes, though, the whole planet's gonna.
No,
be
have you seen the fucking?
miserable.
Have you seen the blast cone on the Yellowstone caldera? I don't think Ohio's okay.
I believe it would be
the caldera,
okay.
the main destruction of the caldera is going to be concentrated within 50 miles. Now, the environmental impact is way
Stone.
greater.
Like,
So-
yeah, most of the planet's gonna be like environmental shit.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
like
crazy.
You're gonna be cast into like
that's
artificial
gonna feel way
winter
more
for.
like- yeah, the caldera going is the blast itself is that's horrible, but it's everything else that it does afterwards that really is going to be devastating.
But
to
this
the
is
environment.
crazy.
One of the
hold on, let
crazy
me-
things about watching this is like I don't know the names of all of them because I'm not a big tree plant, you know, and whatever you
Sure,
what,
yeah,
do you,
you don't
what do
know.
you call a plant person? Not an entomologist, not a paleontologist. A botanist.
Yeah, botanist works.
Yeah, I'm not a botanist or an arborist, you know, but I know like the town that I live in, Madera means wood in Spanish. It used to be a big forest. And so a lot of the trees that are preserved in like parks and wooded, like, you know, green spaces where I'm from look exactly like these trees. And to see them all going up in flames is like uniquely fucking like
Oh yeah.
sickening to me.
Oh no,
crazy
dude,
shit.
it's horrible, man. There's it's one of those things where it's like no one wants to see this happen. I mean, I'm not saying like bow at the feet of nature and going, hey, it's I have no empathy or I'm glad to see it happen. I mean, I'm sure we've done nothing but exacerbate the conditions in California to make it so that this is more likely to happen. And unfortunately, I don't know if you guys pulled this, but the one of the fires I know was caused by a gender reveal party. Did you guys hear that?
Is this the gender reveal party fire? Not this one, right?
I don't think this one is, but I've
What
heard
started-
that there is.
Paul, you know about this fire because it's hitting close to home. Do you know what started the creek fire?
I don't.
Does anyone know that yet?
I don't think that's known yet. It like I haven't heard if it's known exactly what started it. I think it's assumed lightning because that started so many of these other fires, but I don't know that they like it's still like 0% contained, so they're not even sure.
Right. So there's probably not even been an investigation into that yet.
No, TJ, the El Dorado fire was the one that the gender reveal party sparked.
Yeah, those people. Man, this gender reveal party shit is so goddamn out of hand. Like, I've read so many stories about people dying. Like, this is not like here's my idea for a gender reveal thing. Hey, my baby's gonna be a boy. There you go. That's all you need to do. Doesn't need to be some crazy ritual where you burn down the fucking forest. To fucking
why
And
would
we
it?
launch a rocket, and
Like-
one of the rockets has a payload that it'll be pink if it's a girl, and it'll be blue if it's a boy. Oh God, they're malfunctioning. Oh my God.
Also, we
Why
live
would
in.
put 10,000 pounds of TNT into them.
Let's be honest too. We live in 2020. You don't know what the kid's gender is going to be. They could grow up to have their own fucking ideas about that at this point. So
We covered this years ago. It's a they. Just have it's a they party.
yeah. So just fucking quit with this stupid shit. Just quit burning down. Like, what's going to happen next? Is someone going to like blow up the world and it's going to fucking blow up? If the Earth explodes blue, it's a boy. It's like stop. Just fucking knock it off, dude. Yeah. So fires raging. This is going on. What else is going on in the world though? Trump's in trouble again. Oh no. What's going on this time?
What's the October surprise?
5 stunning revelations from Bob Woodward's blockbuster new book on Trump. So this is...
Dude, so hasn't Bob Woodward already wrote one book on Trump called Fear?
Well, this one is called Rage.
Yeah, dude. I listened to Fear on audiobook just for the pure salaciousness of it.
Well, this one's even more salacious. So,
sick.
So here's some of the big stuff. Former Secretary of Defense James Mattis. One of these, by the way, is way bigger than the others, and this story doesn't necessarily tell you which.
Okay.
Former Secretary of Defense James Mattis contemplated taking collective action against the president. So that's one revelation.
That's
now, I don't know about you,
and that's not a new revelation either. You remember there was all those stories about like a group of people in the White House that were aligned against Trump.
Oh yeah. And this one, to me, I'm not super interested in it because we all know that his administration is a fucking mess.
Right.
Intelligence Director Dan Coates believed Putin had something on Trump. We've also heard this kind of shit before. We've heard this speculated from numerous people. One more person speculating about it doesn't necessarily...
I had some on Trump thing. I think it's interesting, but I don't even think it's had something on Trump. I think it's has lots of money on Trump. You know what I mean? Like... That makes more sense to me than I've got Trump drinking pee-pee in a closet.
This one is not the biggest story, but I think it's pretty interesting. Woodward obtained 25 new love letters between Trump and Kim Jong-un. So 25 of these letters have never been reported on. Exchanges between Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Kim refers to Trump in the letters as Your Excellency, and once wrote that meeting Trump again would be reminiscent of a scene from a fantasy film. He added, the deep and special friendship between us will work as a magical force. Trump also told Woodward, Kim tells me everything, including a graphic account of how Kim killed his uncle, Jang Song Fake, who was publicly executed for treason in 2013, 2 years after Kim assumed power.
Tell me how you killed your uncle again?
So, this thing about Trump literally, writing love letters with Kim Jong-un sounds like the more you hear about it, the more it sounds literally true. Like when Kim Jong-un is literally doing like a friendship is magic thing.
It's
with Donald
fucking
Trump.
crazy.
It's fucking weird. Okay. So here's the one that's been the big story out of all this. Not that this one doesn't really lead with it or push it, but you'll see that other people are leading with it pretty hard. Trump called the coronavirus deadly while saying the opposite in public because he wanted to play it down.
I mean, this might be like a revelation, but is it really?
Well, here's the the problem for Trump right now is that there's tapes.
Oh no.
So let's just go right to that. So the other one, we'll get back to that one in a second.
Okay.
We'll get back to that one in a second. So number 5, Jared Kushner believes that reading Alice in Wonderland is helpful to understanding Trump.
That's very comforting to know that the president is good by reading Alice in Wonderland.
Hold on. Listen to the logic. The president's advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, said 4 books help in providing insight in Trump's mindset. It doesn't tell you what the other 3 are. They're trying to get you to buy the book, of course, including Alice in Wonderland. Quoting the novel's Cheshire Cat, Kushner said, if you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. That's the leader of a country. Like, if you don't know where you're going, I guess Cheshire Cat, in a perverted way, that's true. Thank you. And thank you, Jared Kushner, for explaining Donald Trump in such glowing terms.
So we see that Woodward releases audio of Trump privately admitting danger of coronavirus and his plans to downplay it. And we can watch this here on CNN, but I think I'd rather you guys see it in the form of how it's being used already to attack Trump.
Right.
So let's go ahead and just take a look at this video from the Lincoln Project. Oh, and by the way, this hashtag TrumpKnew is the top trend in America right now.
Okay.
At least as of a few hours ago it was anyway. I guess I could be wrong by now because we did talk about some other stuff since then. But Let's just take a look at what kind of political hay they're making out of this, and you tell me how damning you feel this is.
Okay.
This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
We show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
Not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
People, to plenty of young people.
Young people are almost immune to this disease.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
We lose thousands and thousands of people a year to the flu. We don't turn the country off.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
I find that to be pretty damning. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I would be interested in listening if it's available. Not maybe
to,
not on the
uncut.
show, but the uncut interview or whatever Woodward.
Well,
has released.
Here we can look and listen to what CNN plays a little bit more.
I would say, look, I mean, who's it damning to? Are you saying to these undecided voters? Then that makes sense.
I have no idea.
If you're talking about the Trump's base, I don't think it'll be damning. I mean, Trump's told, verifiably 20,000 lies. I mean, Trump and TJ, you gotta understand, like, you just don't meet many of these people. Like, a lot of these people believe there is just a cabal against Trump, and anything like this is just going to reinforce that narrative.
Yeah, they just think everything is fake. I know.
So, I mean, if you're talking about people who are seemingly reasonable, yeah, it's going to have an impact. But I don't know how many reasonable people are going to vote, and I don't know how many people, are in this undecided category are going to go, oh, Trump knew the virus is bad. Maybe they'll just say, you know what? He was just trying to keep people safe, and he was trying people not to panic or something. There's a million justifications.
Well, let's take a listen to a more full version of the clips without necessarily all the ominous. I mean, it's CNN, so they might still put some ominous music over it. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, let's take a listen.
And so, what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape, but it's a very tricky situation. It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing? This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
Okay, well, I can tell you spin number one. That was February 7th, 2020. Trump simply didn't understand how.
So we know Trump wasn't
simply
taken
didn't
out of
understand
context, at least in the capacity of the conversation.
Well, TJ, no one did. That's what they're gonna say. No one understood the virus at that time. No one had any idea.
Yeah, but I think it looks pretty bad when he's admitting, like, oh yeah, it's way worse than the flu. Oh yeah, it's fucking terrible. Oh, it's super deadly. And then, there have been so many fucking instances where he's downplayed it to the American public, and it's like, oh yeah, no, it's fucking, we got the flu, and it's just like the flu, really, and
the fact
it's
that
not even that deadly, and young people are almost immune to it and shit.
The fact that he waited until into late June to appear in public wearing a mask tells you something about, like, this is 3 weeks before the first case of coronavirus in the United States was found. That he was saying these things.
Yeah.
Which are all true about the virus, which we all were told about the virus at the time, by the way. This would the scientists were all saying these things about it. So it's like,
here's the thing I worry about, Paul, is that, yeah, maybe people on Twitter and maybe some people that go to these news sources that give them credibility will go, yes, Trump knew, Trump fucked up. I just don't know how many people it's going to sway with the trust in the media so low as it is.
It's not
going to make a difference.
Oh yeah,
it's not like. Well, here's the thing. Trump famously, there's my favorite quote from the 2016 race was when Trump said that he could walk into Times Square and shoot somebody in the head.
Yeah, he was I could go on Fifth Avenue and kill somebody. Yeah,
right. And still win. And that turned out to be, I think, true not only in that in the context of that race, but in the context of no matter what shit is thrown at this president, he seems to be able to shrug it off. It's easy for me to look at this clip and go like, he's fucked. All right, now there's going to be a mass revolt of these meme lord Trump people who are like, okay, he's actually actively trying to kill us.
I mean, none of those people are going. None of those people are going to fucking do anything.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I would love, as I was saying, I would love to entertain the idea that they would hear him admitting that the virus was deadly, and then hear it juxtaposed with what he told us, and not his rich friend Bob Woodward, who's writing a book about him. You know what I mean?
I was doing research. I'm still working on this episode, and one of the things I did is I went back and watched Trump's first big debate appearance, and the thing that night from all these candidates and everyone, the thing that got the biggest applause was when Trump said, "We're going to take on this political correctness. We're going to do all this kind of stuff." And the fact of the matter is that they see people like Joe Biden. They know Joe Biden's not going to do that. Trump is this guy that's going like, so there's social principles here that I don't think that even if this is true to them, I don't think it trumps, and not excuse the fucking pun, that in their minds where it's like, okay, well, if I have Joe Biden, is he going to do that? No, he's going to be like, you need to be politically correct and you need to talk this way and do these things that you don't want to do and destroy your way of life. And yeah, Trump might be a scumbag that killed people through negligence and obviously lying, but he's going to make sure things aren't politically correct.
There's a cult of personality around Trump.
There's a cult of personality.
No, I mean there really is, and he could walk right into Times Square and shoot somebody in the street in broad daylight and still win this election. I believe that. And I don't think this is going to scuttle him. You know how this could scuttle him? If there was a candidate that knew how to make political hay out of this. But you know what? is there a soundbite about Joe Biden calling him out on this yet? Because there should have been an immediate press conference called by Joe Biden.
Yeah, send out the Joe Biden signal. Joe Biden.
Let's see what the top Joe Biden shit going on right now is.
It was Joe Biden go up to the top, TJ. It said Joe Biden unveils manufacturing tax plan in Michigan.
Woo! So he's not even talking about this. See, we're not even making, like, the left isn't even trying. So it's like, no, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to.
See what Joe Biden's doing on his Twitter. So let's see what Joe Biden's latest tweets are if he's trying to make any hay about this. So he actually is tweeting about it, but he's not even using the hashtag. It's like the top trending hashtag right now. That's how bad this is.
Yeah.
He's literally using the phrasing that Trump knew, but he's not even appending it to the fucking giant hashtag that has like 503,000.
And then I want you to try and read the first sentence of the next tweet above that without laughing.
I promise you that if I'm elected, I'll always tell you the truth. Wow. I'll listen to the experts and do everything I can to contain this virus. And I'll always put your health and safety first, no matter the political cost. Thanks, Joe.
Bullshit.
Joe's got your back. Yeah, Joe.
I promise. Listen, I promise. Double pinky promise. I'll tell you the truth. Touch blue to make it true. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in my eye, dude. I'll tell you the truth, bro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, Jack. Let me tell you some truth, Jack. Listen.
Yeah, he hasn't done shit to make any sort of like political hay out of this.
Oh no, he hasn't. He should be
there's like a couple of shitty tweets about it.
He should have called a press conference and talked about how outrageous it was that the president openly lied to the American people and to the government, and that this is indicative of, the Trump mentality and blah, blah. He needs to be on the record in some meaningful way and try and make political hay out of this. Meet with Bob Woodward or whatever and fucking talk with him about it or some shit. He's doing nothing. He just made a tweet and he's talking in Michigan. to some manufacturing workers, I guess, today.
Woo! Good for him.
Boo!
Maybe Kamala Harris is actually doing it. Look up her fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Democrats. They're not even good at politics. That's the sad thing. Like, all they care about is winning, and they don't even fucking do that well.
It's like put me in charge of the Biden campaign for 3 days or during the breaking of one of these scandals. You know what I mean? And I'll show you how to make political hay. And it's not even like new ideas. It's from watching how politicians used to do things.
Yeah. Dude, hers is even more pathetic. All right, so here's what she's up to. One, she's fucking
She's fucking determined, TJ.
She's pushing this thing with her and Hillary Clinton, which I don't know if this was before it broke, but still, just like the fact that's even happening. It's like me and Hillary gonna fucking get to. It's like, go away, Hillary. Just fucking die already.
And Nero played the fiddle while Rome burned.
Then 3 hours ago,
what TJ?
3 hours ago.
Wait a minute, TJ. Hold on. Before you move on, you don't want to ride the fail boat to Tuna Town, TJ?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know something about.
You don't want to take.
Let's involve Hillary Clinton in all this, of course.
You don't want to take the fail boat to Tuna Town in this election and watch this fucking horrible fundraiser with a fucking politician that I got to be honest with you, the DNC knows voters hate her. They know
they
it.
Just don't care.
I've got an
put her
idea.
front and center anyway.
I've got an idea, guys.
What?
Okay, so can you guys name to me the actually only person in the world that's ever lost an election to Donald Trump, a general election?
Hillary Clinton.
So, hey, guys, I've got a great person to put front and center. Literally the only person that's ever been dunked on by Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton. Thank you. Okay. Well, I mean, this is a fucking joke, dude. This is the party that's supposed to win, and people have total... if you have any confidence in this win, then you're insane, in my opinion. Look.
Here's the next tweet. When Joe Biden and I are in the White House, we're going to start making sure the future is made in America by all of America. Tune in now as Joe gives remarks from Michigan.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Same bullshit. We're going to be for America. What side's more for America?
Right. So here's her tweet that's actually about this shit. And she also does not use the hashtag. It's the number one hashtag. I don't understand. Okay. Donald Trump knowingly betrayed the American people. His refusal to act costs $190,000. This is so fucking like, you guys. There's so many people fucking dunking on Trump so much harder and better than this, and you guys are at the top. You guys are supposed to be the top ones dunking on this motherfucker, and you're not doing it. It's fucking so sad, so pathetic.
People are dead. Donald Trump. You know what those people are gonna say? Well, Donald Trump need to make sure the economy didn't crater. So what if some old people got to die? I've got to be able to get a cheeseburger, see a movie. My wife's got to be able to get her hair and nails done. We'll take that risk.
Hell yeah, Cletus. Hell yeah.
Hey, TJ, I'm about to send you a link to a tweet that's got a video in it.
Okay. You go right on ahead.
Don't pull it up on the screen because it's got our personal stuff, like our personal communications, but... Yeah, switch to a different story real quick and then pull up.
No, that's fine. I mean,
Pull the video is what you're saying.
I'm just going to grab the link. I know how to do this.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't.
But first, I think you just share Paul's contact info with everybody. Just make sure you blast it out real quick.
I want you guys to watch Bill Clinton. Listen,
man, Paul, why do I got to look at this?
Because I want you to I want to show you what the DNC is going to trot out with Kamala Harris. Oh, pause it. You got to hear it. I want you to watch Bill Clinton's face during this.
Bill looks despondent, dude.
Look at this screed that she goes on, and then just watch. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Bill's contemplating.
Okay.
Bill's contemplating swallowing a bullet, man.
Hold up. Let's do this.
And these people will stop at nothing. And yes, the Russians helped them last time. The Russians are helping them now. And you cover the White House. You know that the White House has said, don't brief the Congress. Don't even tell them.
I wish that Epstein Island was still open.
Settings, what the Russians are doing.
I wonder if I swallowed about 90 Benadryl if I just drift off into a dreamless sleep.
A dreamless slumber, never to awaken.
I know there's not,
I'm glad my third grade teacher can lecture me about Russian collusion. Thank you, Hillary.
And then really Bill's just like, oh my God.
I know.
Well, there's a reason Bill got elected and Hillary didn't. You know what I mean?
Please, bitch, just set me free, please, Hillary.
I know. I've got a shotgun.
She's like Bane, dude. It's like, you now have my permission to die.
I know
like,
there's an old shotgun out in the shed. I know there's shells up on that shelf in that same shed. If I just walked out there right now, this bitch wouldn't even notice. Nobody'd even notice, really. I'm not even here anymore. Look at me. I'm just a skeleton of my former self. I can't even fuck bitches anymore. Dick don't work.
Dick don't work.
Russia. All this bitch ever talks about is Russia.
Only way I can stay alive is I gotta eat a vegan diet.
That's
actually true about Bill Clinton.
Yeah, a vegan diet is what's keeping him alive.
Yeah, he has to eat a vegan diet. Well, he's had like 2 triple bypasses. Like he is like very prone to heart disease, so he pretty much just has to eat like plants.
Right.
That's about all he can eat and stay alive. That's why you also get people say, "Oh, he's got this gaunt and emaciated appearance." I mean, for many years he had a lot of fat, and obviously when you switch to a diet like that, your level of fat goes down. Plus, he's pretty old. He's like 70.
Let me just tell you something. Bill Clinton would have been better off in life if he just eaten what he wanted and died of a fucking heart attack.
I should have just ate about 1,000 more cheeseburgers and just kicked off from a fucking old heart attack, just like a normal old bastard.
Because then his legacy could have been like, hey, it's Bill Clinton, and he died. What'd he do? He balanced the budget. You know what I mean? Like that'd be like
that was old Bill for you.
And even if like some shit came out like he was on Epstein's Island and all this stuff, people would be like, he's dead. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
It's like even if he did some fucked up shit, he's dead.
Surely. He's dead. He balanced the budget. Leave him alone.
Surely, surely I would have been better off if I would have just went out while Monica was blowing me. Just a giant.
Yeah, that's
coronary.
true. Can you imagine? Just like, and then it's like
coronary while Monica was blowing me.
And there could have been like some big story about like the president died, signing this document or something, like
he
at his
died
desk.
saving innocent lives.
Smoking one of his favorite cigars.
The last thing he did before he died is sign this initiative that, like whatever. Come up with some fucking
the childhood
heartwarming
cancer
bullshit.
initiative, of 1997.
To cure cancer.
Hey, TJ.
But now look at him. He's got to be this fucking gaunt, emaciated slave to this horrible, shrieking banshee that's like trapped his soul and ensnared
And another
it.
thing about Russia. Ugh, no.
Please shut up, bitch. Please, God.
TJ,
let this fucking end.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what the worst part is, TJ? I can't.
What is that, Pimp Monk? I mean, Bill Clinton.
I can't even tell people the truth about what she really is.
Yeah.
I can't let them know that she's an Oswald. I'm having another heart attack.
People know what she really is. Just look at her eyes in this, for fuck's sake.
Dude, she's an
see
Oswald, dude. She's an Oswald faux show. She's an Oswald.
Oswald. What the fuck's an Oswald?
You don't remember the Oswald, dude?
No.
Man, how quickly you forget, TJ, from our fucking... From our crazy female monsters series, the crazy Filipino demon that becomes anybody it wants to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that whole like movie series about it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Oswangs. Yeah, those are crazy.
She's an Oswald.
Anyway, bye, plebs. You got to go.
Bye, plebs.
Bye, plebs. Bye, plebs.
All my exes live in Bliptown. In Bliptown is a place I never want to be. 'Cause all them plebs, they get their pleb on. And that's why